So these are the ornaments we will be making today. So if you'd like to know how I've created them, then keep watching and I will show you. Hello my beautiful friends and welcome to day 12 of the 12 days of Christmas ornaments. We started with clay, we're ending with clay. I've got some translucent clay already conditioned and rolled out into rough rectangles. I've got 3 shades of alcohol ink in various blues. Use whatever colors you so desire. We're going to just add a couple drops of the alcohol ink to each of these 3 pieces. I am using Kamenskaya blue, and then this is, gosh, I think it's Stream, but I'm not entirely sure anymore, and Stonewashed from Ranger. For those of you who don't know me, hello! I'm Katya with Lunar Sun Creations. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I sounded like I was trying to do an accent there. I really wasn't. Anyway, welcome. I'm glad that you have stopped by. So, even though my hands are already completely caked in alcohol, I'm still putting a glove on to smooth this around. And then I am going to blend it in to the clay completely. So I want 3 fairly contrasting shades of blue. I think I want this one to be the darkest, so I'm going to add a couple more. It will darken in the oven though, so whatever color you end up with, keep in mind that it will get darker. Okay, this last one I'm going to mix with just a little bit of white. So I'm going to do that in the pasta machine. Okay, so that is blended, and now I'm going to blend these in the pasta machine as well, just folding it over and running it through. Okay, and make sure that the ink is mostly dry before you start running it through the pasta machine, or you will have a huge inky mess. Okay, I'll be right back as soon as these 2 are blended. Okay, and once they're blended, you're going to cut them back into an actual rectangle again. Save all these pieces. We are going to be using them. We're just going to make a smaller rectangle. Okay, so kind of try and make these about the same. Okay, I've taken the white and I've rolled the white out to a setting 5, so quite a bit thinner than the rest of them. The rest of them are at a setting 0, which is the thickest setting on my pasta machine. Okay, I've got some silver leaf off to the side here. Or sorry, not silver leaf, gold leaf. One of the leaves. Use silver, gold, whatever color you like. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting a layer of the gold onto one of the colors. It doesn't matter which one you use first. Just make sure it's all covered there. Okay, then I'm going to go in with a thin layer of the white. So I'm going to put it the leaf side down and just cut a thin sheet of that. It's okay if some of the leaf gets on the white, not a big deal. Okay, so it's not going to want to stick because the leaf is not very sticky. Okay, but then we are going to put another layer on top of that white. Didn't do a very good job on that one. Let's see if we can't get this piece over here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then we're going to put another of the colors on top of that. Again, we're going to go leaf, white leaf. Okay, and then your third color, and one more time with the white leaf. I'm going to flip the whole thing over and do it one more time on this side. If you don't want to do, you can just do one layer of leaf and one layer of white. If you would prefer to do it that way, that's totally fine if you don't want as much in your project. But you'll see in the end result what it looks like and then be able to decide how much you want. So I'm just going to kind of piece this together. Okay, and then for the final bit of white, I'm just going to go white on either side of this leaf, and then I know it's not going to completely cover it. If you have enough, then great. If you don't, not a big deal. And then I'm going to take the pieces that we cut off and literally randomly put them on there, just kind of melding it all together into a little mishmash of color. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay. Squish it all together into a more compact rectangular block. Pushing down on it as well. We want it just really compact so it stays together. Okay, and now, no rhyme or reason, I'm just going to start cutting in angles. Okay, and I'm going to flip some of them upside down. I'm going to rotate some to the other side. So just put it back together, but not necessarily in, or not in the same way that it was before. So flip some the opposite way. You can just put some back into different spots. Just recreate a somewhat rectangular shape, and we will squish it more into a rectangle in a moment. So squishing it all back, making sure that we've got any holes that we've created back together. Okay, and once you feel like you've got a fairly solid rectangle going on again, just let it rest for a little bit and then we will cut into it. Okay, so once it has rested for a little while, take your blade. The first cut I'm going to make quite small because I'm going to combine it with that end cut. And the rest I'll make a little bit thicker. So each piece should be a little bit different because of how we've switched things around inside the cane. Oh, I think that looks really pretty though. So we have various kind of stripy patterns. Okay, I'm gonna chop this all up and then I'm gonna put it together and we will cut some pieces for ornaments. The switching of the pieces didn't have as much of an effect as I thought that it would, though. Maybe I should have cut it the other way. Oh good, it's still pretty regardless. Okay, so this last piece and the very first piece, just because I don't want this end showing, so I'm going to kind of put those two pieces back to back. Okay, and then we'll just arrange this. I mean, you can arrange it so that the stripes are going, you know, different ways, or you could have them all going in the same direction. Completely up to you. Now that I'm looking at it, I kind of like them going in the same direction, actually. And now my pieces are a little bit different thicknesses, so we're gonna give this a roll and try to make them as even as we can. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over it with my roller. Okay, I'm also going to go over it with a piece of paper and just kind of use the heel of my hand to try and make it as even as possible. You can definitely run it through your pasta machine. I was trying to keep it as thick as I could, but I think I might run it through the pasta machine on the thickest setting just so it's all kind of even. But I wanted to make sure that it was at least a little bit thinned out first and even first before I put it through my pasta machine, because I don't want some parts to go super stretched. Okay, so there it is, all at an even thickness. I love the subtle lines of the gold. It felt like we were using a lot of gold. The leaf, I know, but it just creates these beautiful little ripples. Okay, I'm just kind of healing any cracks that rolling it through the pasta machine caused. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, and I've got a few different cutters for ornaments. So this is what I was going to use to cut things out. Okay, I've got all my shapes cut out. I'm going to lift this off as carefully as I can, because I love it so much that I'm going to try to create some more with it. Okay, so I've got a baking sheet off to the side here. I'm just going to go around the edges of each of these to make sure that they are all smooth. Then I will kind of reconstruct my scraps into a usable piece that I can take more cuttings from. It's too pretty to just ball up. It's got a definite ocean vibe. I wasn't really going for ocean vibe, but I guess my brain was in that mode because that's where we went. And I think Christmas ornaments out like with an ocean vibe is cool because I live by the ocean, and so people around here are into that. Okay, so I'm just gonna get all of these onto my tray and then put this whole scrap pile back together. So here's all of my scrap pieces all put back together into some semblance of a rectangle that I can now cut out of again. And this isn't even through my pasta machine. This is just cutting the scraps apart and pushing them back together in some semblance of order to try and form a rectangle, and then just rolling it out and smoothing it with the paper. So yeah, so now I have enough that I can make a few more random Christmas ornaments here. So if you've got big cutters like this, you can definitely use an acrylic block. I find that that helps to give even pressure and then give it a little bit of a wiggle before you lift up. Once they're all cut, I will use just a little cutter to make a hole in each of them, just like that. Oh, you can't even see it. Can you see that hole up there? Okay, well, once I lift these up, you'll be able to see it. Hi, buddy. Okay, fabulous. Okay, so I'll bake these in my oven for 265 to 270 for a half an hour. My oven runs a little bit high, but definitely check the baking instructions on whatever type of clay you're using. I'm using Primo Sculpey, and that seems to be what works best for me. Okay, so once these are all out of the oven, we will give them a varnish. Okay, I've got them out of the oven. I've got a couple coats of glaze on there. You can see that shine. And to finish them off, I'm just going to take some twine and put it through. Might need a little assist with the pokey tool. Okay, I'm just gonna tie a double knot at the top here. Cut off that little bit of extra right near the knot. I'm gonna pull that knot to either the front or the back. Because they kind of remind me of like the sea, I thought I'd put a little shell on there. So I made these shells out of air dry clay ages ago. I've had them sitting around for a while. It was a mold from Temu, I think, or some cheap place like that. And so I made these out of air dry clay, but if you have little shells from the dollar store or something, I have some somewhere, but I can't find them for the life of me. But if you have tiny little shells or sea glass or anything like that. So I'm just going to use some super glue. I'm going to put some super glue on that knot. Okay, so I've got a little dab of super glue on there, and then I'm just going to put the shell over top of that knot. And then I'm just going to use some kind of little clip to clip it there for a little bit. And here is what they look like with the shells on them. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but there is a little bit of translucence to them because we used that translucent clay. I'll try to capture it in some pictures because it looks really amazing when the sun is shining behind it, which would also work with tree lights. So I'm really happy with the way these turned out. I think they're quite pretty. And so that is day 12. I hope you enjoyed this whole series of ornament making, and I hope though you'll give a couple of them a try throughout this process. So I was kind of testing a lot of them out just to see which ones I wanted to make more of for markets. Some of them I'll do again, some of them I won't. But through the process, I have thought of a few other ideas, but you might be sick of ornaments by now. Let me know in the comments if you're tired of ornaments or if you would be okay with one or two more before Christmas. I will have some card tutorials and some other kinds of tutorials before Christmas, so stay tuned for those. And I hope you have a beautiful day, and if you haven't subscribed already, I would love it if you did so. It really helps out the channel and keeps allowing me to bring you new free content. All right, I think that is all I have to say. So be kind to one another and have a beautiful day. I will see you again very soon. Bye.